Welcome everyone. Welcome to UW Communication Leadership Program info session. I am Liao. I'm the head of outreach for the program. So just let you know that things we are just about 2 weeks away from our round two application deadline. So today's session will be more focused on the application process. And we'll start with a short conversation with our student ambassadors, Logan and Anika. And then we'll walk through some frequently asked questions. In the second half of the session, we'll open it up for your questions. So during the second part, feel free to unmute yourself or you can leave your questions in the chat box so I can read them for you. And also let you know that this session will be recorded and it will be uploaded to our ComLead YouTube channel, so you will be able to revisit later if you want to visit. Today, I'm also joined by a few members from ComLead team. I will let them introduce themselves first. Gretchen.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you today if you have your camera on, and I encourage you to have your camera on. It's really fun to see people, especially if you actually end up applying to our program. It's really fun because we'll see you in the application. My name is Gretchen Ludwig. I am one of the associate directors at ComLead. My role is with is faculty affairs, and I'm also the head of curriculum. So at this question, if you have any questions about our faculty or our program or academic programs, certainly let me know. And I'm also part of the application committees, and I'll be talking a little bit about that later.
Cool. Thank you, Gretchen. Whitney.
Hi, I'm Whitney Bennett, and I'm a graduate program manager. I'm here both working with communication leadership. I also work with our PhD students. So I always enjoy talking with our communication lead students who may be thinking they get inspired and want to do a PhD afterwards. And in general, mostly what I do is work as an advisor with the students. Thanks, Leah.
Cool. Thank you, Whitney. And now I would turn it over to our student ambassador. Anika, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Annika, and I'm a cohort 25 MCDM student. I joined ComLead last September, and I just finished my second quarter here.
Thank you, Annika. Logan.
Yeah, I'm in the digital media communication leadership track, and I am a part of the 2025 cohort.
Well, Sabrina is here. Sabrina.
Hey
say hi.
everyone, I'm Sabrina. I'm also part of cohort 25 and I'm part of the MCDM track, and I'm super excited to be here and speak to all of you.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks you are all here. So we're excited to have three of our student ambassadors with us today. So I would like them briefly share about their application journey and the tips that they have for everyone here. So maybe we can start to let you tell us a little bit more about yourself, like what is your background before you joined ComLead and why you chose your current track. Logan, do you want to go first this time?
Yeah, I chose the digital media program because my undergrad, I came from Utah, and it was in web design and development, which is UX. And so this is a program that focuses on UX, it focuses on marketing, it focuses on AI and a few other things. And so I think it felt like the best opportunity for me. And I really wanted a program that had some in-person classes. And so it's been great to be able to network and to um, fit what I was looking for.
Thank you, Logan. How about you, Anika?
So for me, in my undergrad, I was a marketing and communication student, and I found I have a strong interest in marketing, but I also want to explore other fields like storytelling and maybe also UI UX design. So I feel ComLead is such a good platform for me to explore all of the potential. And after I came here, I found it's even higher than my expectations at. There are a lot of resources and also opportunities for me to have all of the practices and to see what is my true passion and what else can I do.
Cool. Sabrina.
Yeah, so in undergrad, I also studied media and comms, but it was more like theoretical, more research focused. And then I worked for a couple years as a freelance writer. So I was really interested in this program because I wanted to develop some more like concrete hard skills, like digital skills, technical skills, while also building out my portfolio. And it's great because every class, like I come out at the end with a project I can show clients. So that's been really amazing.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So maybe the next question, Sabrina, if you're comfortable, we can start with you. So we're
Sure.
curious about like how did you prepare for your applications, especially
Mm-hmm.
like for personal statements and also short video.
Yeah, so the first thing I did, like what you guys are all doing here, is speak to some current students, see kind of what the application process is like. And then once I read through the questions and like read through the application process, I really tried to ask myself, like, why me? Like, why do I want to do like specifically this program versus any other program? And why is my experience and my interest like a good fit for CommLead? And then for the video, I tried not to make it's not like super like high professional or anything. I think focusing on making it really personal and like speak to your like own story and your background is like what's really gonna set you apart.
Cool, thank you, Sabrina. Anika.
Yeah, so for me, I actually got to know about Comlead very late. It's like almost 2 weeks before the deadline of the round two. But I was amazed by the program, so I started to prepare for everything in a very short of time. And the very impressive part for me is the video statement. So I found this part is like to really a good chance for you to show to be yourself and to show what's unique about you and to really look back at your personal experiences and like your life stories to see what's special about you and what is your the field that you feel passionate about and what can commonly help you to achieve your future goals. So you can really form a like to really try storytelling for the first time in the application process and to tell the story by yourself. And we always can like to to be the storyteller. Yeah.
Thank you, Anika. Good to know that you learned about our program 2 weeks before the deadline. So everyone here, you still have time, right? Yeah. Logan.
Yeah, I think it's just important to really show who you are. Like everyone's so different, and so being able to really um, show how different you are is awesome. And so I think also what helped me feel good about applying was when I was writing my essays and doing all the application process. I had multiple people looking over it at different stages at different times, so I can get different opinions because you'll have different types of people looking at your applications, and so being able to have multiple different perspectives was really helpful for me. Um, it brought I would get different feedback from different people, some of which I would implement, some of which I wouldn't. But it's always good to hear different views because there was a lot of things that I hadn't considered when I was talking to different people and having them read over things and um, and whatnot. So that's my advice is to get as many eyes on your application, on your essays and everything as that you can.
That's a good point. It's always helpful to have someone else to take a look, your mentor, your professor, your friends. Yeah. Good, good point. Yeah, thank you for sharing your experiences. So if we want to ask you to share one more application tip with everyone here, what would you say?
I would just say stick to a theme, maybe. Oh, and I would focus on a different part of yourself in both the written and the video. So like showcase a different aspect of like your experience or like your interest in both because it gives you two opportunities to really tell your story.
Good point, good point. Yeah. So we see every different part of you rather than let you repeat the same thing in different materials. Anika.
So I just quickly reviewed my application materials and I found maybe like in your personal statement and in your video statement, you can have different emphasis. So in your personal statement, you can like talk more about your academic and also like internships, this kind of practice related experiences. But in the video, you can talk more about like more personal to make it like a unique stories that only you can tell, and about your true passion and about your like lifelong um, kind of like the career goal you want to pursue. So to make it very special and very personal is like and also use AI wisely. Don't use AI to generate anything for you, because you have to tell a real story that people like your audience will feel like impressive and have a good impression about your application overall.
I'm glad that Annika, you talk about AI. I think Gretchen could talk more about it, like what you can use with AI and what you cannot. We'll have that with Gretchen later as well. Logan, how about you?
Yeah, I was about to say exactly what Anika was saying is that in the world of AI, there is a lot of just content out there, but what makes it different is like the experiences that you have. And so I think to be able to really leverage how you're a real person, how Calm Lead can benefit you, how you can benefit Calm Lead and everything. So I think being able to really hone in on your personal examples is huge, and just showing um yeah, where you've been and where you plan to go. I think it's just really relying on personalized content especially in an age of AI where nothing's really that personal.
Perfect. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, I mean, like, appreciate all your advice. I think that are incredible helpful. And we have also gathered some most common questions from prospective students, and I would like Gretchen and Whitney to walk through those questions with us. So the first question will be for Gretchen. Thinks she's our in our admission committee and has reviewed like tons of applications for round one. So, should students keep in mind for their short video, Gretchen?
Thanks. I mean, I have to just like echo everything that's been said here from our amazing student ambassadors. I mean, everything that you just talked about is something I would say as well. You know, talking about those personal, specific stories that only you have, and that you get other people to look at it and to review it. And that's actually a person to review it and not AI to look at it. And also making sure that your video has a different emphasis than your personal essay. You have to remember that we're looking at all of it, and so if we're seeing the same things over and over again, you're not offering anything, a new perspective. So there are some details about it that I think that it's really great that you're here, that you're getting some inside intel about it. That when you do the video, stick really to the basics. Don't overproduce it. I mean, we know if you use AI to write your essay and then you read your essay on the screen using a teleprompter, we know that. It's pretty obvious because there's a specific formula that it follows. There's no specifics there. I feel like we're watching a human imitate a machine imitating a human. That's the only thing I can say. We know when your story is specific and unique to you, and that is a really wonderful opportunity for you to show us who you are. I'm always looking at these videos as from the perspective of imagining you in our classroom. I know our instructors very well. I know what they, the joy and the passion they bring to their work, and imagining you in the classroom and your unique perspective, coming to the classroom. I look for stories like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but stick to the time limit. I know that if it goes too far over 90 seconds, I just stop reviewing. I review what I just because I'm giving everybody the same. If it's less than that same minute, that really doesn't work against you, but make sure that there's a reason why it's that short, not just that you don't have a lot to say. Sometimes it's harder to say something in a short amount of time than a lot amount of time. Also, I would just say a hot tip would be don't spend a lot of your video introducing yourself again and where you went as an undergrad. We already know. We're reading your application. This is a chance for you to get right into it, into answering the prompt or the selecting the prompt that it shows us that you're spending time, you understand, you've been looking at the application materials, you're giving it your best shot.
Good point. Yeah, you don't want to waste your time for something that we already know, we can already see from your transcript or
Exactly.
other things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then question, how about personal statements?
Right. I mean, so this is very similar in terms of making sure that you're answering the prompts, that you are really being specific about your own experiences, and that you're making a strong case about why ComLead. We know that students are applying to several institutions. They're trying to hedge their bets. They're trying to get in. But sometimes it's pretty clear when they're not really understanding our program. You can tell when they put it through AI, and AI brings in classes that don't exist, or they exist like 10 years ago, or they're mentioning an instructor that in a really incorrect way, and they're mentioning the same instructor over and over again. So I know that AI like somehow loves that instructor. They bring it up to the top of the pile. I don't know why. So, be really careful when you're using AI. You may be using it to brainstorm, to start your essay, to sort of like get you thinking about what you want to say. You're using it as a sort of like way to spar your ideas. But when you use it to write your essay or use it to get information about us, look out. And this is what we teach in our program too. You have to verify what you're doing because it makes stuff up incorrectly. And you need to be able to show us that you are thinking deeply about our program and why you would like to apply to us. And what about you? What are your interests? You could have several interests at this point, doesn't matter. But what is it about your experience and who you are that draws you to this program? And what is our program going to do for you?
Good. That's a good point, Gretchen. Because I
Mhm.
understand a lot of students are applying for several
Yes.
different
And
institutions.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you have to be specific, like when you are doing your application with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some research. Make sure that you do some research on go to our website and to learn about ComLead and reflect that in your either essay or video to let us know that you know who we are as well. Cool. Thank you, Gretchen, for sharing that.
Sure.
So now I think I can turn it over to Whitney, our academic advisor, and for the next few questions about application. So one question students ask about is, should I submit all my materials before the round two deadline?
Yes, so the sooner the better. And I think, as Anika mentioned, it is possible at this point to still make our April 1st due date. Where I think people can get held up is getting the references. So really think about that. And maybe when you're reaching out to people, convey, look, I just found this great program. The due date's coming up. I know I'm asking you with a compressed window. Do you have time? Because sometimes people get in a situation where they ask someone, presuming they could get it to us within 10 business days, and then the person is just too busy or off grid and can't. So I always recommend make sure that you get two people who commit and then put their names in. And better, yeah, people will be honest. And if they can't do it, it's not that maybe they'll write your reference another time, but at this point, they just can't make a compressed window. That's really important because our team, which, as we mentioned, includes Gretchen, they can't look at an application. We want to be fair with everyone. So if an applicant only has one letter, we can't look at it because it's just not fair to everyone else. So 2 letters. Getting in if your first language is not English, getting in your test scores and really being mindful that exactly as you had your name on your test score, you use in our application. You can update that later in our system, but that's where other people will get slowed down. And that's something we can kind of work a little bit with past the April 1st due date, but we can't officially review an application until if test scores are required that they're in. So, and again, I think a lot of times people start using a preferred name and then put that in our application, but then their test score, for example, from TOEFL has a different name. That it breaks our machines. And so then it can take like a month or 3 weeks to get that unscrambled. So, be mindful of that. And then with the other, for those are kind of the two things I'd really get started because those are out of your control, right? Whereas with the essays and your CV or your resume, and your video, those are in your control. So that's kind of the order I would go in terms of the due date.
Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you, Whitney.
Yeah.
And some students are asking, because you mentioned about the recommendation letter and language score, they're asking like, can they submit those a few days later after the round two deadline? Because sometimes it's a little bit hard to control.
Yeah, so because that's out of their control, get them submitted before April 1st. That's the key thing. Take your action before then, because then you can communicate to us, right? And I can communicate on to the committee. Oh, Logan actually asked for the TOEFL score on March 19th. It should be here within days. So there's a little bit of wiggle room around the first. Again, and somewhat test score is a little easier with the letters of reference. Again, if you or the person writing your letter communicates to us via the general email address we have, I'm working on it, it's going to be there April 2nd. We can work with that, but a very tight framework around the test and the letters of recommendation being just a few days late.
Yeah, perfect.
Dropping
I will
it, yeah.
share, our complete email,
Yeah.
just in case if you need it to communicate with us about your recommendation letter or language score. Thank you, Whitney. One more question, like for international students, my language score meets the minimum requirements, but now the recommended one once. Is that a problem?
Well, the minimum is set actually by the graduate school of the University of Washington, not by the communication department or comm lead, the comm lead masters. So we don't have any wiggle room with that minimum set by the graduate school.
Okay. Thank you, Whitney. So I hope that we have addressed some questions that you may have. So now let's move to the Q&A and feel free to unmute yourself, or you can just write your questions directly in the chats and we can ask them for you. I'll wait for one more minute for you to write in your questions. And meanwhile, like we can probably like ask Gretchen some follow-up questions since you are in the admission committee. So you have been seeing tons of applications. What kind of common mistakes that you have been observing, and what kind of mistakes that you think applicants should avoid?
I mean, I think I talked about this a bit already, but common mistakes are not doing the research about our program yourself and like just Googling something or using AI, even worse, to find out something about us. It's clear because of common patterns come through that you're doing it in a very like quick way. When we say students that go deeply into our website, or maybe they've talked to another student, that's huge. If they've already talked to a student about the program and they know something about it, it shows that they're doing their research. And people who do their research, we know are going to add a lot of value to our program and get the most out of our program because they're spending a lot of time doing the work, and that shows they've spent a lot of time on it. Sending a personal essay that falls very short of the time limit, you can tell. I mean, it's like, oh, I think this student spent maybe 15 minutes writing this, or they used AI to write it. Very obvious. Again, to brainstorm or to sort of clean up your grammar. I mean, there's already other programs out there that can do that, but showing us who you are is really, really important. Yeah, referring to our program in an incorrect way. Or I've seen this where you applying to one track or one program, but you're referencing things in a different track. Showing to me, that's like, what track are you trying to actually apply to here? It's really hard to tell because you are talking about elements of other tracks while you're talking about this one. So anything that makes us wonder, like, have you really done your research? Do you really know about CommLead program? Because you have to make a case about why your values and your interests match ours. And if you haven't done that research, we don't know. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Gretchen.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. If you want to unmute yourself, or feel free to do so. Or we can start with some of our student ambassadors and to talk about some classes that you feel interesting and your favorite class so far at Complete to give everyone a little bit more sense about what we're doing. I don't know how many classes that you are taking this quarter, but is there any one that you really enjoy? I see Sabrina is smiling. So maybe you have some
Yeah,
good
I could go first,
things to
sure.
share. Yeah.
Yeah, this past winter quarter, I took a class I wanted to take last quarter, but I was able to take it now. It's storytelling with data, and I was really drawn to it because I think being able to use data to support your research and like your work is a very valuable skill. And in this class, I learned to use a lot of different platforms like data creating platforms like Tableau and Flourish and Data Wrapper. And these were like softwares that I had never heard of before, but now I like came out with like a project that I worked on all quarter, and I will be able to use these like websites in the future too in like my work. So I really enjoyed that class. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Login.
Yeah. I have two classes that I really liked last quarter. I took one with Laura, which was about prompt engineering, like AI prompting. And so we made like custom GPTs. We made AI avatars that would answer questions about our own lives. Like we would feed it information, and so like it's almost like a chatbot of myself, which was kind of freaky, but it was also super awesome. So being able to add that to a portfolio is huge for me. And then also being able to increase my prompting skills to make AI the most efficient. And then this quarter, I took a class about inequity or equity initiatives in leadership, and so being able to create the most inclusive environment and everything in a workplace is important as well, and I've learned a lot.
Cool. Thank you. Anika, how about you?
Yeah, so for me, like the course I feel is really helpful and make me gain a lot of sense of achievement is video storytelling. So for the first quarter, I finished foundations, and this quarter I just finished the advanced. So this quarter we're working with a local Seattle food manufacturing company called Cucina Fresca, and we had the filming days and also real communications with the real client. And we end up had a really good collaboration there. Like they gave us lots of compliments, and also they recommended us to Jacob that we're like the best team he have never met. And so we are really appreciated this chance. And as an international student, I can never imagine that like in a foreign country, I can have this kind of chance and also resources to work with a local company and to have all of the filming experiences. So we ended up made a mini documentary for the company, and they're going to put on the main page of their official website.
Thank you, Anika. Now we got several questions from Renew. We'll start with the easy one. Does this program require GRE or GMAT score? Whitney?
No.
No. Yeah. And even if you have one, please don't. You don't need to share with us because we won't consider it anyway, to be fair. Yeah. And then another question is, after completing this program, what success stories have you heard from students? How does program help them in Korea? I mean, for student ambassadors, probably you have attended many of our networking events and have already talked with some of our alumni. So do you want to share first, and then I can step in?
Yeah, in one of my classes, we had a guest speaker. She actually was also in our 501 class, but she came back to my Principles of Marketing class. And she was a student. I forgot which track she was in, but after graduating, she became like the marketing manager at T-Mobile, which is really cool that she was able to like apply her skills like straight out of the program. And clearly it really helped her like find the job she landed after.
Is that ACTA?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came back to my marketing class. Yeah.
Yeah, Acta is one of our alum. I think she's from cohort 17 or 18. When we say cohort, it means like the year that they actually came into Conley. So cohort 17 or 18, probably they joined Conley in 2017-ish. So actually, that's a good story about Acta because when she joined Conley, originally she has been away from the working environment for a few years as a full-time mom. And then she came to come lead. And when we first launched our first Friday event with We Communication, the PR agency, and she went there in person and got connected with the general manager of We Communication. And that's how she got the first job, like after she graduated from ComLead through our alumni network, through our in-person network event. And then she go there from We Communication to T-Mobile. So definitely, like I would say, we have a strong network, alumni network for ComLead. Now we have more than 13,000 alumni, and they're supporting each other every day in ComLead. So, for example, like we host like annual crit fair and just for ComLead and every April. And most of those crit fair employers are ComLead alumni or through their connection. And they come back to the crit fair to recruit more upcoming graduates from ComLead. So they always support each other. And also like we launched our mentor program, alumni mentor program, to sign up our ComLead alumni with current students. And usually, like I think I also heard several story like the mentor actually end up hire the student mentor for their company. So those are sweet stories like how our alumni network work. Any other stories that you're aware of, like Anika, Logan, or Gretchen?
I
Um,
mean, I will just, oh, sorry. I'll just say I work with the success stories all the time because a lot of our alumni come back to me and want to teach now. They're now senior in positions. You see their progression. Um, and one thing that I'm noticing in our program that's different than other programs is that because we teach such a broad array of classes that can that intersect into various communication fields, I'm seeing a lot of students past program pivot in their career a lot. You know, they may start out in UX, then they go into marketing, they might bring their storytelling in, but they're able to pivot and shift in their careers because they're really well prepared for that. Sorry, I interrupted you, Annika. Go ahead.
No worries. So I want to keep talking about my instructor of the video storytelling, which is Jacob. So he's also our Comley alumni, and especially and he's always been so honest and so transparent to us to share about his personal stories. And I heard from him that he's always been really thankful to Comley to help him to pursue and to explore all of his potential and his true passion in the video creation area. And also like he which is also what he's doing now. Like he always want to give back to ComLead and to be the instructor and also to help all of our students to help us to also have a really good experience in this field. And if we need any help or we want to have more practices, all of the chances, he's more than willing to help. So I feel it's like the positive energy like companies have, so to give all of the alumni and also current students.
Thank you. I echo what Anika said. I think for ComLead, we really support each other a lot. Like, for example, I think when one student got an internship at TikTok, and is that Rong from Taiwan? Yeah, and then she introduced like five other ComLead students get into TikTok for internship or other contractor position. So like we are really a nice family, yeah, to support each other. So I think the next question we can move to from Anthony. Are most student, oh, did I miss one question? Oh, no. From Anthony, are most students working with attending school or mainly just taking classes? Whitney or Gretchen, do either of you feel comfortable to answer that question?
I mean, we can both maybe weigh in. In my experience in talking to students, it's both. So it really depends on if a person's going full-time or part-time, the nature of their job. So if they have flexibility in their hours, because you do want to, especially if you're working full-time, right, be able to focus on your courses and your homework and attending these events. I mean, they are phenomenal, from the first Fridays to all of the different kind of networking and alumni events we have. So there is a richness of opportunities here. And so that's the only, I think, caveat I have about a full-time job is, would it be, flexible enough for someone working full-time to take full advantage of this program if you really are looking to pivot, in one way or another in your career. Yeah, Gretchen?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly right, Whitney. I mean, it's both. I think we would both counsel students if they're able to, and I know international students need to take at least 10 credits in order to keep their visa current, but if they're able to, if you're working full time, taking just one class per quarter is fine. And you can take as much time as you want. If you are a domestic student, as much time as you want to get through this degree. I've seen students do it in 4 years, 5 years, because I would say, if you're not able to take advantage and bring your full self to those classes, and we're a very relational program, building those relationships with your faculty and your peers, just like Liao said, this is going to be the most important thing, being here. And if you're unable to do that because you're struggling to, maintain a full-time class load and full-time job, that can be tough because you can't take advantage of those wonderful events. I think, Liao, this year, we had 92 events this year.
Yeah, we did.
It's amazing the opportunities that you have here to meet people, and the relationships are gold, especially when you're looking to get a job. You get it through your network. So yeah, but many of our students, they're doing internships, they're working at the same time, and I would just hesitate, to take a full-time job and a full-time load. Yeah.
I would say there are a lot of things going on at Conley outside our classes. I'm just sharing the upcoming events in the chat box, so you can take a look at what's going on with Conley. And some of them are open to public, and you're welcome to join us. For example, we have one more April 1st Friday book talk with Colin Fisher from UCL, and that is open to public, and you're welcome to join us. Cool. Next question from Renew. What are the main differences between communications and networks and communication leadership? That might be a question for Gretchen. Yeah, thanks you monitor our curriculum.
Sure. So the communication leadership degree is our longer degree. It's 60 credits as opposed to 45 with MCDM or MCCN. It's a longer degree because there's more requirements and it's more time in the program. There's a capstone associated with it, so an opportunity to build towards something that is a pinnacle of what you're doing, a project with a lot of support along the way. There's an internship requirement, and a professional writing requirement. So it's a longer degree. And just as a backstory, the reason why we created this degree is because some of our students were trying to do both MCCN and MCDM because they liked both programs and they were trying to blend it into one. And we learned that was actually the college put the kibosh on that, and they were like, you can't do that. That's not allowed. So we created this new degree that was much more flexible, that you could take classes from either track, and we had specializations that you can orient around. So the communications and networks degree is somewhat different from the Masters of Communication Digital Media degree because it's more focused around people, culture, organizations. It's the who of communication as opposed to, say, the what of communication. That's how we would define it. So, if you're more interested in creating content, creating videos, social media, working with clients, creating these communication products and working in that area, you're more of a master's of communication digital media person. But if you're interested in working with people, internal communications, you're interested in PR, or you're working within organizations. And a lot of times those are associated with the leadership capacities, honestly, especially in this age of AI. So the MCCN degree are more for people who envision themselves as managing people within organizations or working with people per se, or online, even online communities. They're people focused. Does that make sense?
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Gretchen. Next question, what's the tuition? I put the tuition information link in the chat. Whitney, do you have anything else to add? No, okay. You mute yourself. But
I was just pulling it up, but yeah, it is there on our in the admissions page under tuition and financial aid.
right.
And
So share the link there. If you go to the website, the tuition is 864 per credit, and digital media and MCCN degree requires 45 credits to graduate, so you can time like 45. And MCCL requires 60 credits to graduate. Yeah. But I also want to say, like, I think we are comparing to many other similar communication program, digital media program around the nation, the we're the most like cheapest one. Is that right, Gretchen? Yeah, I see Annika is nodding her head. Probably she did some research.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word cheap, but I would say most affordable.
Most affordable. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because we're
I love
associated with the
yeah.
public institution, and that's part of the mission of the university.
yeah, and I think I'll just add again the number of events that we have, that's priceless, right? In terms of all of that, beyond the phenomenal faculty that are working professionals, very strong in their various fields. And so then you have all of the events and the networking, which are just, again, like an IOR that is immeasurable in my opinion.
Right. And also, like, once you're enrolled into our program, you also got many on-campus opportunities or work for a com lead. Like, for example, like Annika and Sabrina, they both have a student assistant job with us. So maybe if you want to talk a little bit more about like what you're doing, how many hours that you work for com lead and what you learned, that would be helpful.
I can talk first. So I'm now working for Comlead as a outreach and recruitment coordinator, and my weekly working hours is like about 15 hours, and is a good amount of time for me to have a good balance of my academic courses and my work, and also my extracurricular life. So I feel it's like really make my every quarter very fulfilling and worthwhile. And to be more specific about my job, I will put the link in the chat. So I'm before the deadline, I I will have the advising prospective student advising sessions, so you can book a time slot with me, so we can talk more if you have any questions. And also, as for the info session and Q&A session, we have a Q&A session with student ambassadors next week, also next Wednesday, March 25th. So if you want to talk with current students, and especially if you want to talk with students who's also mid-career professionals, so you're more than welcome to join us. So I feel working for Comlead is a very happy and very fulfilling thing, because it's a really, really good atmosphere, and every colleagues and students, and we're working in a very happy way. We're not like finishing our job, it's like we're collaborating and doing something we love.
Thank you. Anika. Sabrina, how about your job position?
Yeah, so I just started a new position in ComLead as the content writer and strategist. And so I'm in charge of like the blog you see on the website, as well as a monthly newsletter for prospective students as well as current students. And I currently work about 10 hours. It is flexible. It's great working for ComLead because they understand that you're a grad student, and so they're very understanding that, of course, school comes first. And so it's remote and I can work on my own time throughout the week and write for the blog. But yeah, I'm really happy to be in this role because it is exactly what I want to do professionally, like in the future. And I think this is kind of in a way like an internship, just like within the program. And I'm working under like the marketing director and just like, yeah, learning a lot.
Thank you, Sabrina. Cool. Yeah, I just want to share. I think we have around like 20, 12 to 15 student assistant now that work with ComLead for different projects. And we also have ComLead consultancy that we work with real world clients, and many of them are paid project that students could work on. Okay. One more question. Classes are in campus evenings and weekends. Gretchen, you know the course schedule.
Yes, they are. They're designed so that students with jobs or internships are able to participate, but also because um, I think as Annika said, our faculty for the most part are working professionals. They have day jobs during the day. They're working at Microsoft, at Meta, Google. They're working in health organizations. They're working all over the place, and they teach as a special role with us in the evenings and weekends. So that's a defining feature of our program as well. Our instructors are at the forefront of what's happening in their own industry, and they're able to speak to that and also be there as a experientially as a resource for you. So yeah, and we have experimented with a few classes. I mean, the only caveat here is we've experimented with a few online classes that are actually during the day with some of our faculty who teach from the East Coast. And there's been some success. It depends on the class, but we also know that some of our students have different kind of work schedules, and they would appreciate a class that's also during the day. But I would say like the majority of our classes, yes, will be on the evenings, usually once a week in the evenings. And few of our classes are during the weekends, like every other Saturday or every other Sunday. Some intensives, but there are a few of them as well.
Perfect. It seems that we cover all the questions that we have. And thank you, Anika, for sharing the prospective student advising meeting session. So if you want to book a session with Anika or our academic advisor, either Whitney or Heather, feel free to use that link and you will get one-on-one session. And also, like as we mentioned earlier, like Comly has so many interesting events and make it open to public. And I'm sharing our upcoming April 1st Friday, which will be hosted on our UW campus with Colin Fisher from UCL. And you're welcome to join us so you can connect with Comlink community. You will see our admission committee like director Iking and associate director Gretchen Alex. Yeah, and also you will see our Comlink's current students and also alumni. And probably you will see some cohort 26 incoming students as well. So we hope to see you there if you are in the Seattle area. Um, Meanwhile, I think we'll stay for one more minute in case you have any other questions. If not, I hope you feel good and comfortable about your application and good luck with your application. Hope to see you on Seattle campus in September. Thank you. Thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
Hi. Could you guys hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
Hi, my name is Enrico, and I got a few questions I would like to ask.
sure.
Um, yeah, so the first question is about is the program starts at September 30th?
Yes, I didn't look at the calendar. Is that 30? Is that that date, Gretchen or Whitney?
I'd
Or
have to
do you,
look, but it's around that time. I
Yeah,
can
it's a
check.
little, yeah, a little earlier in terms of being available for kind of some pre-orientation, but typically it's the third week of September.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. And actually I got my offer a few days ago and I got some questions like about the visa.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. So about the visa, how's that gonna work when I like apply to the ambassador or
You mean like your F1 visa?
yeah, F1
Yeah.
visa and I-20?
So we do have another session just for admitted students on April the 9th. Did you get that message from our Assistant Director of Academic Affairs, Heather? And when she sent out the offer, I think she also shared our upcoming um, admitted preview night, which is on the 9th. So we
Oh,
can address those questions during that session. But from what I learned, Anika, you are an international student, so do you remember the process?
I remember you need to get your I-20 first. You need to get your I-20 first, and then you make a reservation with the embassy, and because it's going to be in-person meeting, so maybe make it as early as possible.
And we have an excellent, Enrico, we have an excellent and very robust International Student Services office. So I'll drop a link to their webpage. But through the enrollment, if you decide to enroll, you're going to get prompted and walked through all of that information with the steps. And there's actually, if you come to our program, you have your own kind of point people in the International Student Services office who are going to work with you to keep track of dates and paperwork and all of those responsibilities that go with the visa and the I-20.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I'll drop that in a second. I got to get the
Thank you.
website. Yeah.
I also drop our RSVP link for the admitted students preview net, Erico. So if you missed that earlier, feel free to register and you will see all the admitted students on the 9th. Okay, thank you everyone. I think that's it for today. Thanks, Student Ambassador, for joining us. Thank you, Sabrina, Logan, Whitney,
Nice
Gretchen.
chatting with everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.